I want a low value man. They don't make podcasts. I haven't seen one low value man make a podcast. Do they not know how to use microphones? Maybe that's a good thing. That's hot. All right. I've never seen a man use a microphone for good.
Until now, everybody buckle up. It's low value mail time with your host, Danny Polishchuk. Last call of the night. Maybe one more. We'll do this one though. Hello. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, my name is Jeffrey.
What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you calling from? You want to tell
Texas.
us? Texas. I'm a big fan of Texas. Although, where in Texas?
Bulverde out in the rural.
Oh, okay, cool. How's that? I went to. I liked Austin. Although I hear like everybody in Texas is like kind of like Austin's not Texas, but I didn't.
Yeah, we don't really like Austin.
Yeah. That's what I hear. I liked Austin. I thought Dallas was okay. They're all okay. Yeah.
It's just the people, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, what can I help you with? Or what do you want to talk about?
So I went to the bar tonight, right?
Yeah.
And I asked. Well, so I got a beer. Bartender came up to me for the second time after I ordered some chips and queso, right?
Nice.
And then I said, hey, can I get the menu again? And I had a plan in mind. And she came up again with the menu. I turned the menu around and said, hey, I was looking on the menu and I couldn't find your number anywhere.
Oh.
And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. And
she can. She doesn't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got to realize too, it's like it depends on when you catch them on their shift. It's like if you catch them at the end of their shift, she probably wants to fucking go home. You almost have to catch them earlier. Unless there's a real spark, and they're getting hit on by fucking old dudes. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 21.
21. Okay, so you're young. So this is you've only been allowed in this bar for maybe months.
Yeah. So didn't have many expectations. I was smiling afterwards. I wasn't too upset about it.
That's fine. That's the way to do it. It's literally.
Practice.
You just gotta exactly. You just gotta get it, whatever. It's like it's very similar to stand-up comedy in that I think I said last week, but everybody's always worried about bombing.
That's a great analogy.
Just get the bombs out of the way.
It is exactly.
Yeah.
So that led me to the question. What keeps you from killing yourself?
What keeps me from killing myself? I mean, Are you suicidal?
Maybe not.
I mean, if you're legit, I'm not suicidal, so I mean, I got a lot of things that I don't want to kill myself over.
So let's say you were, what would be the main reason?
Wait, you're asking me what would be the main reason why I would be hypothetically suicidal?
No. Hypothetically.
Or you're saying hypothetically
you wouldn't kill yourself if you were suicidal?
I mean, I'll tell you this. I think everybody knows somebody who's been impacted by suicide. I'd say one of my best friends killed himself, and I honestly, I know this is someone says I got to get a call screener. This is fine. This is I don't know if you are suicidal or not, but all I can tell you is that a lot of times, if it's really, really dark, I will say go get actual help. But if it's a garden variety kind of emo-y, everybody's going through a thing, my friend, he needed to get help for sure, and he had a pretty fucked up life, and he had been in and out. But I can tell you that had he just not that, because it was he did it that day. If you can just wait a little, and I know it's kind of easy to say this, but I just feel if you can just wait it out.
What you mean.
A little bit more, just honestly, as crazy as it sounds, just sleep on it.
Yeah, actually, that's really good advice. Sleeping on it is actually it's really good advice.
Don't take sleeping pills to sleep on it, because that would be counterproductive. Yeah. Don't take a handful of sleeping pills. But I mean, if you have real, if there's a real trauma behind it, or if you've been through some shit, I mean, I don't know. My girlfriend is not that I'm trying to promote her or anything, but she's a therapist, and they help people. She tells me she has clients and she helps them out, and sometimes you just need to talk to somebody who is qualified for that shit. But yeah, someone says in the chat, they go, don't do it drunk. That's a good one. But I will say, when you're 21, man, Like you look back on the the older you get, you look back on that shit and you go like, that was whatever you think like, again, I can't speak exactly, but whatever you think is like the hardest thing, generally time, and you go, whatever, that was nothing. And you know, I would say do not. Here's what I would say is if you're insisting on killing yourself, wait until you're 50.
50.
I know it seems like a far time away, but enjoy your youth. And then if you get to 50 and you're like, this sucks, then pull the plug and you're like, you know, whatever. It's like I feel like I'm meeting you halfway. It's like,
you know what?
It's like if you really are like, give it till 50. And if you really think that 50 is the time you go, you know what? I'm 50 and you're still dead set on it. And you go, I've been thinking about doing this for 30 fucking years. And at 50, then go for it at 50. But don't do it when you're 21 because you're like, and don't do it over a fucking girl either. What's this?
Oh, yeah, no, never over anybody else.
Because my friend did kill himself over a girl, and you're like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, I've had a tiny.
Someone asked, are you suicidal from listening to the last caller? Because I was a little bit too. And I promise it gets better.
Yeah. I agree.
But so anyway, but anyways, yeah, I would say not to be joking about it if it's like serious, but I would say just jokes. Yeah. I would say, you know, you gotta wait it out. Do you have friends and stuff?
Oh yeah, I got the best of friends.
Yeah, you just kind of have that like kind of darkness inside of you.
Oh yeah.
Sure. I mean, you know what? There's ways of kind of you know, like healthily dealing with that, I guess productively. I'd say try and keep busy. This is definitely not medical advice. That's what some people, but I'd say my best advice is, it's like, dude, you're like barely removed from high school and all that nonsense. And what was your high school like?
Yeah. Out of high school, just got my job.
But what was your high school like? Did you have fun in high school? Was it miserable?
Yeah, I actually I've had an amazing childhood, amazing life. I'm you know, I'm not like conceited, but I am, you know, somewhat a good looking dude.
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's fine. You don't have to be. You can.
I'm a lucky person. I have a lot of things to be grateful for, but it just doesn't really matter to me. You know what I mean?
Well, it seems like you kind of, I mean, I think it might be more common when someone like your age, just because you kind of, I don't know if it's a mixture of, I imagine, do you do drugs or alcohol, any of that shit?
Oh yeah. I went through a phase. I smoked like 5 times a day for like 2 years. And then now that I quit weed, now I'm just drinking every day. But
yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, alcohol is literally a depressant. So
yeah, it's probably the worst.
But thing again, I'm sure if you fucking are like feeling bad or whatever, it temporarily. I mean, it's why a ton of people do that shit. I would say that this is probably one of the topics where I'm not super qualified, but for this. But I will say that like, just wait it out, because as dark as it seems when you're 21, like if you talk to any person who's like in their 30s, they'll be like, yeah, I had some dark times when I was that age, and then they look back on it and they're like, yeah, that was fucking nothing. That was like, you know, it's like, it's kind of like the eye of the hurricane or eye of the storm, or like, actually maybe it's the opposite of that, but you know, it's the opposite of the eye of the storm, but it's like, you know, it might seem bad. Because you, like, I will say this, okay?
Yeah, perspective is everything.
The older you get, like every year of your life currently is 5% of your life. And in terms of your conscious, in terms of your conscious life, every, like, you know, you probably don't have memories before, say, 4 years old. So you're 21 years old. So, so 1 year of, you know, your experience is 1/17th. But the older you get, that fraction, become like the denominator becomes larger and larger, and then just everything matters less because you have just a general greater body of experience.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I would say just don't, because
no, and I won't. And you know what? I could be pessimistic for the next 2 hours and come back at you with everything I could with, you know, the negative version.
I mean, dude, it's everybody's got their shit, and I'm sure whatever yours is valid. And like, if you really are like on the cusp of it, I would say go call one of those, like, you know.
No, that's
but I will say this: if you, go. Someone says in the thing, go like tell them to get a therapist, not a psychologist, which is good experience. But I will say that like a lot of people have, if you're worried about having like a passing kind of thought, like that's concerning you, that you just like think about it. I think that's kind of normal. Like I think people just, it's a curious, you go like, I wonder if, but whether you're like, I actually am like gonna do it, that becomes a whole different ball of wax. You know what I mean? But if you're just like, oh, it's like like you think about it like theoretically,
it's like an intrusive. It's like, oh, I wonder if I just swerve into this tree, you know?
Yeah. Like I mean, that's literally there's a name for that. It's called horrific.
Yeah, it's an intrusive thought.
Horrific impulse or whatever.
Yes,
like
same
thing,
I
mean, I've had that thought a million times where you're driving down the highway and you go like, I wonder what happened if I just fucking. Yeah. That I think is quite common. Like if you're,
that's pretty normal.
That's normal.
I agree.
Yeah, that is normal. But once you get to the, the thing where you're like, writing notes and sitting, it's like literally sitting in the darkness, just like staring off in a fucking, 1,000-yard stare,
fantasizing about it.
Yeah, once it becomes a fantasy, that's when I'd definitely look into professional help, because I'm telling you, most people, I'm sure in this hypothetical scenario, if they could undo them killing themselves, they would. It's just like in that moment, it probably seems like the best idea. And I'm sure there's a ton of people who were this close to doing it and then they didn't, and they're just like very thankful that they never did.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the darker version of that where they did it and didn't succeed. And then they pretty much always wish they didn't. So
no, they always wish they didn't. And I'm like, whatever, how bad it is just like, dude, go fucking watch some National Geographic shit. It's like there's 4 billion people on Earth. Dude, you live in America, man. It's like
exactly. Yeah,
you live in the fucking greatest, most prosperous nation in the world. You have every opportunity available to you. You're young. You're apparently what did you say, like a 7 out of 10 or whatever? You didn't say that; those are my words. But you're a good-looking guy. I would like if you think it's an actual like medical issue, then get medical attention. But if you're just having some emo-y like existential crisis shit, maybe try and not drink as much, because that's not helping. And
it's definitely not. Yeah, you're right.
And maybe get a pet. I don't know what the exact situation is, but my best advice is wait till you're 50. And if you're on your 50th birthday, you decide this is it, I've had enough of it, then treat yourself, man. But don't until then.
I have a really dark sense of humor, and I was just thinking of,
I mean, I have a dark sense of humor too, because I'm telling somebody, this, but I will say that, don't, just, if you think this is a medical issue, get medical treatment. There's a lot of people in the chat who seem to have some, experience, and I don't know, maybe we'll get like a fucking Discord going. You guys can all talk to each other. I don't know, but
that would be nice. I got a lot I didn't say.
What else you got? We got time.
Oh,
you're gonna be the last caller of the night, so.
I mean, I promise, man. I could keep you on here for hours.
I mean, this is on YouTube. There's no fucking. We're not going to do hours because I actually kind of got to pee. No. I've been drinking myself. But do you have anything else, or was that kind of the main one?
Okay, let me. All right. Have you ever heard of Pascal's wager?
Yes. Yeah, I've heard of the term. Can you refresh me?
Yes. Okay. So there's basically it basically is saying we all bet on we just bet on the best choice every day, all day. That's all we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really, if you look at the afterlife, there's only 4 options. There's live as if there is no creator, die, and there's nothing else, right?
Yeah.
And then the second option is live the same way. You live as if there's no creator. You enjoy what a religious person would call evil. But then,
are you a religious person?
So that's a complicated answer.
Did you grow up in religion?
Yes, okay. I did. So so the second, there's 5. So that was the.
I pulled it up actually right now. I got it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So there's there's a bunch of different ones, but essentially there's God exists, and if you believe in God, you have eternal happiness. If you don't believe in God, eternal damnation. God does not exist, nothing happens. God exists, nothing does not exist, nothing happens.
Yep.
So basically, you're wanting, I guess, depends on if you believe God exists or not.
Well, it's really a matter of whether what you want to bet on, and sure. if you're a decent, at all decent gambler, you definitely bet on some religion, because 100 years of earthly joy is nothing compared to eternal heaven or eternal hell.
Sure. I mean, I'm not a very religious person. I went to like a Hebrew school for Jews or whatever the fuck when I was like from 1st grade to 8th grade. And I'm not really into that stuff. I will say that it's like just live your life like you don't need to, just be good. I don't know, like just don't be a piece of shit.
I agree.
Like you don't have to, I don't know if you need to worry about that stuff because it's not in your control unless you're going in the vein of like, hey, if I don't legitimately believe in this specific God and no other God, then I'm going to hell or whatever. But again, the odds that there's one religion is right I find to be the least likely scenario. And if there is one religion that's right, it's definitely
that standpoint.
And if there is one that's right, it's definitely Islam. So I don't know where you stand on Islam.
Well, no, I haven't read the Quran, so
well, you better fucking get on it, pal.
Well, I would if I get on the Quran, you should read the Pascal's Wager and think on it.
Yeah, I'll read it. But I mean, again, I generally just live my life as I just try to be good regardless of what that potential outcome is. And then these are outcomes outside of my control. So, once that, you reach that bridge or whatever, then that'll be dealt with. But I'm not going to look back and be like, oh, I wish my parents would kill me if I fucking become Christian at this point in the game. So it's not an option. And they're going to like it even less if I become Muslim. So I'm just going to stick with Jewish, and we don't have a hell. So I actually, you know what? Pascal's Wager, did he factor in that Jews don't believe in hell? Like, is there a Pascal Berg? Yeah. Is there like a Pascal Berg's wager with like the Jewish Pascal and there's no hell quadrant?
It would probably just be another number. It would be 6 instead of 5 options.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
which really doesn't change much, but I appreciate everything we talked about, man.
Yeah, hell, man. Yeah, and honestly, just like if it is a medical thing, get medical help. But but if you're serious, if you really are dead set on doing this, wait till you're 50.
You know what? I will. Thanks, man.
Fuck yeah, man. Okay, take care, dude.
You too, man.
All right, bye.
See ya.